Med över 90 miljoner sålda skivor, konserter inför 300 000 fans och flera världsturnéer så är ju Iron Maiden ett av våra absolut största och mest ikoniska hårdrocksband. Men sångaren Bruce Dickinson hade en rätt tuff start i livet och i veckan så besökte han Stockholm inför lanseringen av den här boken, en självbiografi. Och för Maria Forsblom och Micke Malm så berättar han bland annat om en barndom utan många vänner och tonåren på internatskolan beskriver han som ett rent helvete faktiskt.
You have to imagine a time when it was acceptable and legal to take children and beat them until they bled as a sort of a ritual beating by teachers. Bullying and just, you know, general degradation and all the sorts of things that go on. That was just accepted. And that was sort of, you just accepted it as being part of the system. When you're together 24 hours of the day, it's really easy to have a group of kids to pick on the one that's different. Yeah,
because your bed was drawn in eggs or water. Your
yeah, I mean, there's yeah, it's basically you didn't get a night's sleep. You got beaten up every night with pillows or with sticks or whatever it was, you know, and you just accepted it. It was because you didn't go running to the teachers because they didn't do anything.
But did it leave any marks in you?
Well, I do get angry, but when I see that going on with other people. So, you know, I don't like bullies. It also makes you determined because you don't give in. You don't back down, you don't give in. For every negative, you could end up feeling sorry for yourself, or you could say, well, this, you know, anger, let's do something with it.
White man came across the sea. He brought us pain and misery. Killed our tribes, killed our creed. He took our game for his own need. We fought him hard, we fought him well. And on the plains we were down. But many came.
What would you say are the biggest highlights of your years with the band?
Wow, the biggest highlights of my years with the band. First album I did with them, a Number of the Beast album, because it started this big snowball that kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Rock in Rio, the biggest thing we did in the 80s. I'm not sure I'd describe it as a highlight, but leaving.
Okay. Why?
Because that meant that I could come back. And that was a highlight for me. Coming back was a highlight. And actually, now, about to go on tour again with them, because we toured last year, very successful. Because every year that I can go out and play, is a highlight. It's, for me, I mean, it's the highlight of my year is going on tour.
Do you think you are as good as an artist now as you were before?
I think we're playing as a band better than we were in the 80s. And the evidence is there in the, you know, you can hear it in the live recordings and things. As an artist, you learn so much more about your craft, if you like, you know, just stagecraft, and also the things you can do with your voice, and you know, so you do learn a lot more about things like that.
What's so fascinating is when you look at your resume, it doesn't always say singer, but it says pilot, it says radio host, you've been reading books, you were Britain's 7th best fencer, and you have lectures. Have you ever been thinking about why you're the kind of person who wants to explore more and learn more?
Because I've always kind of been like that. Hence the title, you know, what does this button do?
Yeah, you want to push.
Yeah, that's what does this button do, you know? Just going and flying an airplane and saying, woo-wee, wasn't that fun? That's not what it means. That's not the internal life of flight, of being an aviator, of things like that. So that was the fascination with flight, and it's never ending.
And with the flying, because you were not just flying or are flying the Air Force One, but you were a commercial pilot for
10 years,
many years. Yeah. Did some of the passengers ever realize, hey, this is the singer of Iron Maiden?
No, not for a long time. Every now and again, somebody would figure it out, because nobody expects me to be necessarily the pilot. But when it became a little bit more well known that I flew for an airline called Australis, and so every now and again before the flight, you'd say something, and somebody would go, "Oh, is that bloke from Iron Maiden?" And the cabin crew would go, "Yeah, sit down, fasten your safety belt." You know,
Period.
Because of course, you know, you're locked in anyway.
I'm very glad you're here. I'm
very glad I'm here.
Yeah, you look happy, and therefore I'm wondering, how are you? And I'm thinking a little bit about what happened 3 years ago when you were diagnosed.
Throat cancer.
Yes.
Yep.
Have you recovered fully? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had to, because my manager had booked a 72-date world tour, 10 months.
He really believed in you.
Well, I did say to him, I said, look, I haven't actually even been able to sing anything yet. How do you know this is going to work? I mean, he never ever told me what the answer was.
Period of the cancer and the treatment, you seem to take it very good, and you didn't think about much of death and what could happen.
I made the decision I wouldn't get angry with it, because I thought, you know, maybe I could get angry with it, you know, maybe kind of visualize, you know, me stabbing it with pins or something. And I thought, no, that's exhausting. You know, I'm going to need all my energy to get through the treatment.
Did that period teach you something, or do you look at life differently?
I think what it's done is affect the way that I view my time. Because I don't have time to waste anymore. So I become not self-centered, but more, try and take more authority over things. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. I don't want to do that. But when I got the diagnosis, and people said, "Oh my God, what do you think about death?" And I had about 3 days when I was driving around going to different appointments and doctors and things like that. And all I noticed driving around London was hospital, graveyard, hospital, another graveyard, another. I went, okay, this is nuts. Stop right now. You know, you're becoming a drama queen about this. You know, you have cancer, get rid of it, and there'll be some horrible stuff that goes on towards the end of it, which will be uncomfortable, but you're one of thousands of people who do this every day. And there'll be people probably watching the program who are doing this right now with all kinds of different cancers. And the good news is a lot of them will get through it. Everybody's going to die one day, you know, but our job is just not to die today.
Fint samtal tycker jag med Bruce Dickinson. Vår uppgift är att inte dö idag.